The summer of 1982 was a special time, not only because of the scorching Spanish sun, but also because of the turbulent historical context in Poland. At that time, the country was under martial law, and a tense and oppressive political atmosphere prevailed. Amidst this dark backdrop, the Polish national football team went to the World Cup not just to play football, but to light a beacon of hope for millions of their compatriots. That year's White Eagles team was a wonderful blend of seasoned veterans from the 1974 generation and the explosive, youthful energy of new stars. With their sharp counter-attacking style, tenacious fighting spirit characteristic of Eastern Europe, and masterful individual technique, they wrote a fairy tale by securing third place overall. They not only brought home the bronze medal, but also left behind an enduring legacy. But more than 40 years have passed. What has become of those heroes? Some have become symbols of power, some have chosen a life of seclusion, and others have been laid to rest forever. Let's turn the pages of these legends' lives. Zbigniew Boniek, the ultimate power, heart, and mind of the Polish national team in 1982. At the age of 26, Boniek wore the number 20 shirt, not a typical center forward but a perfect number 9. 5. Possessing blistering speed and explosive ability in big matches. His hat trick against Belgium in the second group stage remains a masterpiece of counter-attacking art, leaving a strong mark on Polish football history. His absence from the semi-final against Italy due to a suspension is always a great regret, a lingering what-if question in the hearts of fans. After the tournament, Boniek moved to Juventus, where he and Michel Platini formed a devastating partnership, winning the European Cup and the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup. Fiat president Gianni Agnelli affectionately nicknamed him Bello di Notte, Mr. Tonight, for his brilliant performances in evening matches. After retiring, Boniek did not choose a life of ease. He embarked on a coaching career, leading the Polish national team before becoming president of the Polish Football Federation, PZPN, and vice president of UEFA. Boniek's career perfectly reflects his playing style: aggressive, intelligent, and always wanting to be in control. From an arrogant player on the pitch, he became a powerful manager, a godfather of Polish football with his outspoken statements and strategic vision. Today, Boniek remains one of the most influential figures in Europe, living the life of a successful winner who has shaped his country's football for the past half-century. Grzegorz Lato, a tireless star in a political crossroads. The link between the golden generation of 1974 and the Polish national team of 1982. If Boniek represents the present and the future, then Lato, 32 years old, is a witness to history, still possessing a speed that strikes fear into defenders, even though his once flowing hair has faded with time. He diligently ran along the right wing, playing both on the pitch and acting as a mentor to the younger players. Although he didn't score as many goals as before, Lato's presence remained a strong source of morale, helping the team maintain its identity and belief on the field. After the 1982 World Cup, Lato chose an adventurous path, moving to Mexico to play for Atlante, then to Canada, before returning to Poland to retire. But his most astonishing transformation came after retirement. From a down-to-earth player, Lato entered politics, becoming a senator, and then winning the presidency of the Polish Football Federation ahead of Boniek. However, his presidency was fraught with controversy and criticism, a stark contrast to the overwhelming adoration he received during his playing career. The contrast between Lato as a player and Lato as a politician is a poignant one. On the field, he was a humble hero. In the seat of power, he was out of place and perceived as conservative. Nevertheless, having left the political arena, Lato returned to a peaceful life. He remains a monument, a living legend with a record of 100 appearances for the national team at that time, a testament to the incredible resilience of a swallow who brought glory to Eastern European football. Władysław Żmuda, the silent cornerstone, the man who built the steel wall in front of the Polish goal. At the heart of the defense, Żmuda was a towering figure. Despite being only 28 years old, the 1982 World Cup was his third of 4 appearances, an unprecedented record in Polish football. Żmuda didn't play with flair, but with coolness, accurate judgment, and almost perfect positioning. He was the most reliable barrier in front of goal, always appearing at the right moment in the heat to avert danger. If Bonik was the sword, then Żmuda was the strongest steel shield. Żmuda's subsequent club career took him to Italy, Verona, Cremonese, and the United States, New York Cosmos. However, persistent knee injuries robbed him of his final peak years. After retiring from playing, Żmuda chose a career in youth football coaching. He led the Polish U16 to U21 teams, quietly nurturing future talent instead of seeking fame at big clubs. Żmuda's life perfectly reflected his character: discreet, humble, and dedicated. He rarely appeared in the media and avoided controversy. He lived as an exemplary teacher and a veteran who always maintained his dignity. Currently, Żmuda enjoys a peaceful retirement, but his name is still remembered as the benchmark of a great central defender that Polish football has ever produced. Józef Młynarczyk. From the depths of scandal to the pinnacle of European football, the goalkeeper rewrote his own destiny. Guarding the Polish goal that year was Młynarczyk, the 28-year-old goalkeeper with the distinctive mustache. At the 1982 World Cup, he made a series of spectacular saves, especially in the waterlogged semi-final against Italy and the dramatic third-place match against France. However, few people know that to be in Spain, Młynarczyk had to overcome the infamous Okęcie airport incident of 1980, a scandal that nearly cost him his entire career after a suspension. The 1982 World Cup became the stage for him to regain his honor and prove himself as a top European goalkeeper. And he did even more than that. After the tournament, Młynarczyk went to France to play for Bastia before joining Porto, where he wrote his most glorious chapter in history. He became the first and only Polish goalkeeper to date to win the European Cup, Champions League, in 1987 when Porto defeated Bayern Munich. After retiring, he didn't leave goal but became a goalkeeping coach, continuing to train outstanding goalkeepers for Porto and the national team. Młynarczyk's story is a lesson in redemption. From a man once considered a culprit due to his drunkenness, he rose through talent and hard work to become a legend. Off the field, Młynarczyk is a seasoned, quiet, and practical man. He even worked as a truck driver after retiring from football before returning to the sport, demonstrating humility and a willingness to start over. Currently, he remains involved in coaching, serving as a shining example of resilience in overcoming past mistakes. Włodzimierz Smolarek, a warrior who never backs down, who transforms every inch of grass into a canvas to showcase his unwavering determination. Alongside Bonik and Lotto, 24-year-old Smolarek is a dangerous attacking force on the left wing, possessing seemingly inexhaustible energy. The image of him dashing to the corner of the pitch, holding on to the ball to waste time against the helpless Soviet players in the decisive second group stage match, has become a symbol of cunning and tenacious fighting spirit. Smolarek didn't just run, he fought for every inch of grass, with a defiant smile always on his face. After the World Cup, Smolarek became an idol at Widzew Łódź before moving to Germany to play for Eintracht Frankfurt and to the Netherlands with Feyenoord, where he was wildly popular. After retiring from playing, he dedicated himself entirely to youth development and, in particular, to guiding his son, AB Smolarek, to become an outstanding national team player. He lived a simple life, always optimistic, and was a bridge connecting generations of Polish footballers. The image of that devoted father and cheerful warrior seemed destined to endure forever. However, that journey filled with smiles came to an abrupt end. On March 7, 2012, Włodzimierz Smolarek passed away in his sleep at his home at the age of 54. His death was a huge shock, leaving a vast void in the hearts of his fans. His legacy is not just his goals, but the spirit of never give up that has been fully passed on to future generations. Stefan Majewski, the 26-year-old right-back, is one of the most intelligent players on the team. His nickname, the Doctor, not only reflects his intellectual appearance but also alludes to his calculated and scientific style of play. His goal that made it 2-0 in the third-place match against France was the most memorable moment, confirming Majewski's all-around ability in both attack and defense. After the tournament, Majewski moved to Germany to play for Kaiserslautern and achieved considerable success. His post-playing career took a more specialized direction. He became a coach, managing several clubs, and even serving as interim coach of the Polish national team. He also held the position of director of sports for the federation, playing a crucial role in developing the training system. Majewski's life is a model of meticulousness and discipline. He always appears elegant, speaks concisely, and works systematically, unlike other flamboyant stars. Majewski contributes with his knowledge and dedication. Even now, he remains a respected expert and football manager who constantly seeks to apply modern knowledge to his country's football. Paweł Janusz, the elegant leader at the heart of the defense, the embodiment of calmness and finesse, partnering with Żmuda. Janusz, at the age of 29, brings a rare grace to the game for a central defender. He is not only strong in tackles, but also possesses excellent ability to initiate attacks from afar. Janusz's calm demeanor helps balance the entire defense, contributing to a steel wall in front of Młynarczyk's goal. He is a modern center-back, playing with his head more than his muscles, and always knows how to control the tempo of the entire back line. Janusz's career subsequently flourished at French club Auxerre, where he was voted the best foreign player of the tournament in 1986. After retiring, Janusz became one of Poland's most successful coaches, leading Legia Warsaw to the Champions League quarter-finals and managing the national team at the 2006 World Cup. Despite controversies surrounding his decision to drop key players, including goalkeeper Dudek, his coaching talent is undeniable. Off the field, Janusz was a quiet, sometimes distant, but very decisive man. His life after football was quite private. He dedicated his time to his family and his hobby of hunting. Despite retiring from top-level football, Paweł Janusz is still remembered as one of the most influential figures, having experienced both glory and bitterness as a player and a coach. Andrzej Bunkol was Poland's most exciting discovery at the 1982 World Cup. At just 22 years old, with his small stature and skillful technique, he was likened to an artist on the pitch. His goal against Peru, after a beautiful 1-2 combination with Boniek, was proof of his innate talent. Bunkol was a breath of fresh air, bringing a touch of fluidity to the team's powerful style of play. However, Bunkol's life took a fateful turn. In 1986, he decided not to return to Poland but to stay in West Germany, playing for Bayer Leverkusen and winning the UEFA Cup in 1988. This defection decision drew criticism from the media in his home country at the time, but Bunkol was simply seeking a better life. He settled permanently in Germany, became a naturalized citizen, and lived a quiet life. After retiring from football, Bunkol opened a physiotherapy and wellness center. He distanced himself from the spotlight, content with his role as a quiet medical professional. The connection between his skillful feet of yesteryear and his healing hands today is a beautiful image. Bunkol now lives happily in Germany, occasionally appearing at celebrations, a gentle man who has found peace after the difficult choices of his youth. Janusz Kupcewicz is a special case. Although he didn't start the tournament, when given the opportunity, the 26-year-old midfielder shone brightly with his sharp tactical vision. His greatest moment was his ingenious free kick against France in the third-place match, the winning goal that secured a historic medal. Kupcewicz is a talented playmaker, a player who plays with a cool head. Following that success, Kupcewicz played in France and Greece before returning to work as a physical education teacher and coach. Interestingly, he also became involved in politics, serving as a city councillor in Gdynia. Kupcewicz was a true intellectual, deeply concerned about the development of football and the community. He lived an active life, constantly busy with social projects and youth football. He always maintained his sharp mind and enthusiasm, a familiar guest on commentary programs. However, the heart of this architect had stopped beating. On July 4, 2022, Janusz Kupcewicz passed away suddenly after a stroke at the age of 66. His death coincided with the 40th anniversary of his World Cup bronze medal, leaving behind immeasurable grief for those who admired his flamboyant talent and great personality. Waldemar Matuszek was the most unsung hero. At just 20 years old, he shouldered the heavy burden of playing in midfield, providing the foundation for Boniek's brilliance. Matuszek ran tirelessly, battling relentlessly, The image of him collapsing from exhaustion and dehydration after the match against the Soviet Union is proof of the tremendous sacrifice he made for his country. He embodied selfless dedication. Matisic's career continued in France, Auxerre, and Germany, Hamburg. However, the physically demanding nature of the game significantly affected his health later in life. After retiring, Matisic settled in Germany and became a physiotherapist, specializing in helping players recover from injuries. He chose a reclusive life, rarely giving interviews. In real life, Matisic is an introverted, humble person, almost to the point of being shy. He never boasts about his accomplishments. His current life is peaceful with his family in Germany. He is proof that true heroes sometimes don't need the spotlight. They just need peace of mind knowing they have given their best. Marek Juba started the tournament on the bench, but earned a starting spot in the second half thanks to his reliability and tenacity. The 26-year-old defender is a symbol of healthy competition and relentless effort. Juba isn't particularly outstanding technically, but he compensates with his fiery fighting spirit and absolute tactical discipline. Having spent his entire career in Łódź, playing for both rivals UKS and Widzew, Juba is a local legend. After retiring, he became a coach and dedicated himself to youth development in his hometown. He is a straightforward, honest man with a distinctly gritty street football style. Currently, Juba still lives in Łódź, enjoying his old age and still following his country's football. He is a testament to loyalty and pure love for the sport, a simple man who doesn't care about fame or luxury. Andrzej Iwan was one of the greatest talents Polish football had ever produced. At the age of 22, he was expected to be a shining star at the 1982 World Cup. However, an injury in his second match against Cameroon robbed him of his chance to shine, plunging him into the tragedy of an unfulfilled genius. Iwan had it all: technique, strength, intelligence, but fate was not kind to him. Iwan's life after football was a long, downward spiral into addiction, gambling, and alcoholism. He repeatedly attempted suicide due to depression. His autobiography, Spaloni, is a raw and painful confession about the dark side of the football world. But it is precisely this brutal honesty that has earned him more public affection and sympathy. Iwan is striving to rebuild his life as a commentator, offering insightful and humorous perspectives. After enduring many hardships, Iwan seemed to have found his balance again. However, the demon within his soul never truly let go. In the final days of 2022, Andrzej Iwan passed away in Krakow at the age of 63. His death marked the end of a life full of talent, but also tragedy. A poignant warning about the price of fame and the invisible pressures that weigh heavily on the shoulders of a football artist. Andrzej Sharmach, the devil with long hair and a bushy beard, arrived at the 1982 World Cup as a major star of the 1974 generation. However, at the age of 31, he mostly sat on the bench due to not fitting into Coach Pichnicek's tactical plans. Nevertheless, his goal against France in the third-place match was a testament to the class of a lethal striker whose career never faded. Sharmach later became a living legend at the French club Auxerre, where he scored over 90 goals and was treated like a son by coach Guy Roux. He settled permanently in France, working as a coach and enjoying a peaceful life. Sharmach was a refined, cheerful man who perfectly integrated into Western culture. Today, Sharmach lives a comfortable life in France, occasionally returning to Poland for events. He doesn't resent being a substitute in the past, but looks back on it with a forgiving smile. He is a true gentleman of football, who has proven that class is permanent. Jan Jawocha, the pain of a pioneer, the one who laid the first bricks but did not get to witness the most glorious moment. At the age of 24, the Wisła Kraków right-back arrived in Spain as Poland's first-choice defender. He started all three of the first group stage matches, becoming a reliable anchor thanks to his diligent and disciplined playing style. Jawocha and his teammates braced themselves against the suffocating pressure in the early days of the tournament, when Poland was held to consecutive draws in a stalemate. He sweated to build the foundation of the house, but ironically, he wasn't there when that house shone brightest. Cruel fate struck during a triumphant match against Peru. A serious injury forced Jawocha off the field, making way for Marek Juba. From that moment on, the World Cup was over for him. He had to sit in the stands, watching his replacement, Juba, shine and help the team advance to the semifinals. It was the silent pain of a player, happy for his teammates' victory, but heartbroken that he had become an outsider on that joyous day. After the tournament, Jawoka's career continued but never reached the international peak he had hoped for. He moved to Germany to play for Augsburg and Trier, becoming a respected player in the lower leagues. Jawoka's life after retirement was very quiet. He settled in Poland, away from the media frenzy. He lived as a humble witness to history, always smiling when recalling 1982, but deep in his eyes there was a hint of sadness from an unfinished journey. Włodzimierz Czołek, the prince, with quiet, unassuming sides, who shone brightly even though he wasn't the main player, wearing the number 9 jersey. 26-year-old Czołek was the epitome of a high-class super substitute for Poland that year. The most beautiful moment of his career came in the match against Peru, when he came on as a substitute and coolly scored the 5th goal, capping off a spectacular goal-scoring spree. Possessing a skillful left foot and intelligent footballing mind, Czołek subsequently became the top scorer in the Polish league just 2 years later. In his hometown of Wałbrzych, Czołek is revered as a prince, a man with innate talent and the humility characteristic of Polish football. However, Czołek's life after football was a stark contrast. After retiring and transitioning to coaching, he became embroiled in match-fixing scandals, a persistent problem plaguing Polish football during its transitional period. From a World Cup hero, his image was tarnished by mismanagement and ethical mistakes in his post-playing career. It's the tragedy of a talent who couldn't resist the temptations of the times. But to be fair, despite his mistakes, Czołek was still a father and grandfather striving to find peace in his old age. He lives quietly in his hometown, confronting his conscience and his past. Czołek's story is a reminder that the glory of the football field is not a magic bullet for mistakes in real life. But nevertheless, his 1982 goal remains a beautiful legacy that no one can take away from him. Roman Wojcicki, the giant who found his promised land, standing tall as a reliable backup shield, with a height of nearly 190 meters. Wojcicki instilled absolute confidence whenever he appeared. At the 1982 World Cup, the 24-year-old center-back was only a reserve for the Żmuda-Jonas pairing, and only played 45 minutes in the third-place match against France. However, despite his limited appearances, Wojcicki still demonstrated the qualities of a modern center-back: large, strong but not clumsy, possessing excellent spatial control and powerful tackling abilities. He was a symbol of the depth and solidity of the Polish defense that year. The most interesting thing about Wojcicki lies in his post-tournament journey. He was one of the most successful Polish players to play abroad in Germany. He became a legend with Hannover 96 and FC Hamburg, playing consistently in the Bundesliga for many years. Germany became his second home. After retiring, Wojcicki did not return to Poland but settled permanently in Germany, where he opened a successful football training school and a physiotherapy center. Wojcicki's career is a testament to his incredible hard work and adaptability. From a relatively unknown reserve player in Spain, he built a fulfilling and prosperous life abroad. He is a role model of a successful man who used football as a springboard to change the fate of his entire family. Today, Wojcicki lives happily in Germany, serving as a cultural bridge between the two countries and a source of pride for Poles living overseas.